Hey, it's Alex Southey. I just wanted to come on here and do a little self-serving Mark Maron intro to say, who are some of your guys? Actually, what I wanted to say is thank you for listening. I appreciate it. The artist appreciates it. The guy riding on a bicycle next to me appreciates it. Thank you. And a motorcycle. And this is basically just to put a little more spotlight on the Toronto music scene, at least the pockets that I know. Hopefully it grows from that. Thank you very much for listening. Again, I'm Alex. This is from Oh Marlene, and this is your worst song.
I want to say like early days, like 2018, as like
Oh,
just some acoustic demos.
okay, okay.
And then I never really did anything with them until I want to say like 2022. I released a song called How to Be Happy.
So what was,
Um,
other than the pandemic, which is obviously a huge splitter in people's plans, what was why the long gestation period from 2018 to 2022?
I'm not sure. I mean, the pandemic didn't really hit back home, so that wasn't really an
Mm.
issue. Everything was as per normal.
Oh, wow.
Um,
Okay.
but there wasn't really any reason why. I think it originally started like I went through a pretty shitty time in my life,
Okay.
and I wrote it, I guess, as like a cathartic depression thing. You know what
I
I
can
mean?
get into that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I just never. I suppose at the time I had other priorities. Um, and then yeah, just never really. I released like one song, "How to Be Happy," in 2022, I think.
Yeah.
And then I guess it wasn't until I came back to Toronto that I kind of thought, fuck, why not? You know?
So if this is sadder, folkier stuff, as you described it yourself,
Mhm.
uh, what was the other stuff that was initially taking your focus genre-wise away? Like, what are these other projects? What were they?
Oh man, so
Sh
many.
Yeah.
I was in like a pop punk band for a while.
What was the name?
Blue, fucking Red Panda was the name.
Red Pit. That's a good
Um,
name.
do you know what the song? They're actually kind of alright. It's kind of like a folk pop punk.
Okay, okay.
I did my own. I had like my own surf rock project for a while called Casual Dining.
Casual what? Dining?
Dining, yeah.
Oh, that's a great name.
I
That's a
know.
great name.
I
Yeah.
know. I think I might
You
start
got to
that one back up
resurrect that
actually.
somehow.
I think I
Yeah.
might, yeah.
That's a good name.
And
It's a
then
good EP name or something. Sorry, go ahead.
I had another surf rock uh band with a buddy. We made a really good EP in his garage under the name LeBron Jams. That was really, really good.
That is really good.
LeBron
You're
Jams.
sitting on some gold. I see why you were distracted from Warburton.
Yeah. The
Those are
song
worthy
Make It
pursuits.
Better by
Okay.
Warburton was actually an original LeBron James song.
Really?
And I repurposed it, changed it up a little bit, made it less surfy.
Did LeBron Jams have vocals still? Or was it all music? Was it just a jam band?
No, full vocals, everything.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's
Fantastic.
songs out there if you look for them. There's
There's an appetite for those songs, is my guess. Some people, anybody listening to this, go check those out.
go check out some LeBron Jams and some casual dining. I
That's so
think
good. Is that stuff on Spotify or anywhere else? Or you got to
yeah,
dig
it
a
is.
little?
Yeah, they both
Oh,
are.
okay. All right. There you
I
go.
think LeBron James you probably have to find on SoundCloud, but I can send you a link. I'd
Okay,
like to
yeah, yeah.
think that LeBron James is probably like the best thing I've done.
In terms of music, or you just because you love the name?
Both.
Okay, yeah, because the name you can't beat that. That's the
Name's
LeBron
sick.
James of names, if you will.
Yeah. I think but musically I think it's just the coolest thing I've done.
Oh, cool. So would you ever
Um
bring some of it back into Warburton? Those are pretty far apart on the spectrum in terms of genres, surf and what you're doing with Warburton, but I think you could potentially add a sprinkle a tiny bit of maybe guitar surf flavor in it.
you know what? There's a couple of new Warburton songs coming through
Hmm.
that kind of do have a bit more of that kind of surfy vibe to it rather
Okay, okay.
than kind of the sad. I mean, it's still gonna be sad, let's be honest, but it's a bit more upbeat, a bit more surfy vibes.
Okay, cool. All
So
right. Well, I feel like that's
yeah.
a good. Let's pause on the Warburton songs, and let's do what I'm supposed to do, which is at first ask you about what do you want to start with? Best gig or worst gig?
Oh, my worst gig would be uh and we had an EP launch. This is a long, long time ago now
Okay,
for
good.
another band that was called Badger and the Fox,
Okay,
which was like another folk group I was in.
that's a
Um,
good name for a folk group.
it was, yeah, it was a good group. It was like a male female kind of duo,
Cool.
but full band sound.
Okay.
So anyway, we're having this EP launch, getting ready. Was at this cool venue called Clancy's Fish Pub. Look it up, Fremantle.
All right.
Um, and getting ready, make sure all the gear was good. Fucking everything got down to the venue.
Yeah.
Everything's good. Gear's in the back, ready to go. Everything's fucking gravy. And then good turnout, like a full house. And then comes time for us to come on stage, plug everything in, nothing fucking works. The
Oh,
amp's making this weird like
hiss.
fucking screeching. Not even a
Oh,
hiss. It's like a pterodactyl.
oh, sure, sure.
Uh,
The old
and
pterodactyl amp problem.
yeah. And
Yeah.
then by the time we ended up playing, we played about 3 songs to an empty room.
Oh, so was it
Um,
just a sad withdrawal of people just from the room
just
slowly?
yeah, yeah. Just you could
Where
just
it,
see him walking out, just waiting for something to
uh,
happen, and just nothing was. Everything was. It was like fucking. It was crazy.
oh, that sounds excruciating.
It was, and it was like we put all this effort in. You know what I mean? Fucking big EP launch.
Yeah.
It could have been cool. Could have been great,
Oh.
and it just went to shit.
So have you been back to that place since?
I think I played there once more before that kind of band disbanded,
Oh, okay, okay.
and I've never played there since. I
You've
probably
never,
never will again, I guess.
no, it's just, it remains a stain, if you will.
It will. It's a shame too because it's a really cool bar, cool venue.
Okay.
But yeah, fuck,
All
terrible
right.
night.
Okay, well, maybe we can make you feel better with this. What's the best gig you can think of that you've had? Obviously, best is really hard, and it's just like asking best song. That's it's like choosing your children, but that comes to mind.
Best gig. I don't think I really have any like best gigs. Like obviously any gig that goes well and people are there and having a good time and
Sure.
is a great gig. But I think I'm a real big gearhead.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really into like tone and pedals and getting cool guitars and shit like that.
Yeah, that comes through
Um,
in your music, I would say.
I think probably the best gigs I've ever played is like we played this one show. Oh, I can't remember what it was, but this fucking guy came up to me after and goes, "Your guitar sounds great."
Oh,
And I think that to me is like better than playing like sold out venues, better than playing anything like that. Just that,
oh yeah.
your
Because
guitar sounds great. I was like, fuck yeah.
that's
Thank you.
being noticed specifically. It's for a specific thing that you put a lot of time and effort in, and not to say you don't with your songwriting or whatever, your performance or whatever, but that's such a not that I'm this kind of guy with cars, but I imagine it's almost like a mechanic meeting another car mechanic and be like, "Oh, you have the specific little thing that I've read about in this." I love that attitude. Anything to make a stranger go up to another stranger is a good compliment, I
I
think.
completely agree. Yeah, it made
Yeah.
my night that night. And I was playing a new guitar that I sought out. It was like this fucking sick surf green Rickenbacker.
Ooh, so you made
And
a good first impression with it, basically.
yeah, and I had the, yeah, it was just top compliment.
Do you still
That
have that
that
now, the guitar?
oh, I wish I sold it for rent once.
Oh, I have
We've
been
all
there
been there.
exactly.
Yeah.
I had a surf green jazz master that is this
Oh,
exact same story.
yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Sucks.
but it's in the local scene now. I forget who has it, but I sold it to a nice person who I saw them later on Instagram and I was like, "Oh, they're playing what they're okay." That's
Oh, that's
cool. It's
cool.
still surviving. Yeah.
Yeah, it's still getting used at least. I've actually had that happen to me twice. I've sold a guitar for rent. So the
Really?
Jazzmaster I play now is a 1970 Jazzmaster.
Ooh. So
And
where did you find that?
so I found it originally just at some vintage shop. Um, Bought it. I sold it in 2012 to pay for
Okay.
rent. And then I was like instant, like the next day, I was like, fuck, you know. A guy, you might know him, a guy called Curtis Kent bought it.
Okay.
He's like a big guy kind of in the like pedal and guitar demo world on
Oh,
YouTube
really?
kind of thing.
Okay. I
Yeah.
should look them up. Okay.
And the thing that kind of like upset me was he bought it. Like I love this guitar. It's my first like I bought it with a tax return. And it was like my first like vintage guitar. Like it was beautiful.
Uh,
Uh and I sold it for rent. And then he sold it 2 days later.
oh.
And I was like, fuck you.
Oh my
You know what I mean?
God.
And then
I
I
was
tracked
nothing
it
to you?
pretty
Wow.
much, yeah. And I sold it cheap too, just to get that. Like, I think I sold it for like $2,100 or something like
Oh,
that.
wow.
And then I tracked it down and I bought it last year
Wait, so
back.
you're saying so I thought you had a replacement version. You're saying
No, I
it's the
found the
same one.
exact guitar in Grand Prairie
What?
and I
That's,
bought it back for 4 grand,
oh, well,
but
that's a
worth it.
tough one. Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
now
found
you've
me back
4 grand
decade later.
plus a story. 4 grand plus a story. It's
Mm.
pretty good.
More than a decade later, I got it back. And you know what? It's kind of a blessing because the guy that had it like refretted it and stuff like
Wow.
that. So
Okay.
it's kind of it's better than it was.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Damn.
It's cool. Yeah, it's a beautiful guitar. One of my favorites.
What are some other guitars you own? Just out of curiosity.
At the moment, I have that one. I have just a Mexican Strat.
Okay, nice. Yep.
I have a 1989 Gibson 335,
Damn.
which is probably my favorite guitar of all time.
Yeah, that's cool.
Though I did drop it and crack it the other day, and I'm really upset.
Did it affect the sound, or are you just worried about it cosmetically?
It just cracked. Like
Okay.
it's got a crack in it. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
upsetting.
That is upsetting.
And then I have a 1963 Gibson F25 acoustic.
You have a collection.
I used to have, as I said, like I'm really into like gear and stuff, and
Yeah.
I've sold and bought so many. I've had some wicked guitars over the years. I had like a Martin 0017,
I'm not even sure what that
0017.
is. I mean, I presumably an acoustic, but what kind of
An
acoustic?
acoustic,
Like,
yeah. It's like a small body 00 size.
I love small body
Mahogany.
acoustic guitars, like slightly
Yeah.
small body, 3/4 size kind of thing is great.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of like what this Gibson is, the one I have now. It's a
Oh,
00 size,
oh,
kind of a
very nice.
shorter
Okay.
neck with like a fat, almost almost as wide as a classical, but not quite.
Oh, because sometimes
pretty
the big
cool.
C or whatever it's called, the C or D or shape.
Time for an ad break.
Hi, we're Peerage of Convenience, a dating service, but for band members. Looking for that band member? Well, that's all the time we paid for. What do you get the kid who's not fitting in?
What a loser.
What do you get the kid who doesn't want to smoke?
What do you not smoke?
Doesn't want to drink?
What do you not drink?
I've got the answer. Funt.
Fake blunt.
It's a fake blunt.
Hey, the crowd loves it.
Funt.
It's a fake blunt.
Now, live from a gnome's repressed memories, back to the show.
Okay, well, it's probably time to get into the worst song. Have you
Are we
thought
talking-
about it?
Are we talking worst song I've ever written or worst song of Warburton?
It doesn't need, I'm gonna say it doesn't need to be Warburton, but it has to be something that the people listening right now can listen to.
'Cause
So it has to be available online.
Yes, because the worst Warburton song is a song, in my opinion, off the recent EP that came out a couple of months ago
What?
called
Okay.
31.
30 was okay. So let's start simply. Why is it the worst song?
I think it just didn't turn out the way I wanted it to turn out. And
Okay.
it feels to me, I don't know if it translates,
Mm-hmm.
but it feels to me like fake or like forced. I'm not sure.
Well, that's interesting. So what is fake or forced about it? What the attitude that comes with it, the atmosphere, or what are you thinking? What's
I think the whole thing, like I tried to, I don't know. So the end of the song, it's got kind of like this outro kind of thing, like I only want to die about half the time, blah, blah, blah. I
yeah.
really love that part. That's probably one of my favorite parts I've ever written.
Okay.
But the whole like 3 minutes before that, throw it in the bin. Not a fan.
I have been there before where it's almost just like I am this all this is train tracks to get us to the ending where the destination is that I actually want people to care about, which is
Yeah,
not the best way to write a song, but it's funny when you know you have a gem and you don't know what how to surround it, how to express it.
absolutely. Yeah, that's kind of what this song kind of started out as like it was cool. It's cool. I don't know. I just feel I don't like the lyrics. I don't
Well, what
like.
was your
There's a whole
aim
bunch of stuff.
starting out? Like you must have liked it initially enough to make it into a song. So what was that spark?
The spark was just the whole chord progress. I just liked the way the chords sounded, the way they played. I played it with a like a lot of tremolo on it,
Oh yeah, okay.
and it just sounded cool. And then I thought the lyrics were pretty cool for the chorus, but then my wife actually was like, eh. And I was like, ah, fuck, okay.
It's probably good to have a partner that will be honest with you though, right? Like does she also like presumably if she's telling you what she doesn't like in this case, she's also telling you what she likes and you can trust that.
Absolutely, extremely supportive.
Okay, yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I think just like lyrically, I kind of forced it a bit,
Mm-hmm.
and vocal wasn't super great, but the ending is good.
I'm curious what you mean lyrically forced. Do you mean literally you forced words to fit in a certain way for a rhyme, or do you just mean you didn't quite do a good enough job of coming up with an original way to express something, so inevitably you fell into sort of some sort of cliche that you didn't like, or
I want to say both.
okay,
I want to say
okay.
both. It's kind of like, yeah, I guess it's kind yeah, I'd say both. It's almost like written more about or for someone or something else rather than something I've
Hmm.
personally kind of done or experienced or whatever, except for the end bit, which is probably why I kind
Right.
of like that part.
With
Um,
Warburton, does it need to all come from lived experience, or can you pull a Bob Dylan and write from the perspective of character and just own it like that? Is that
Absolutely
something you would
both.
ever do? Yeah.
Both. There's definitely like one of the new songs that's coming out soon.
Mm-hmm.
We're Never Meant to End It is actually about a TV show. Uh,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
like
So,
that's kind of like it's different, but then a lot of them, some of them are like I guess deeply sad ones like Danny or um, Queen West, another new one coming out.
yep, yep.
They're like definitely more deeply personal.
Okay.
But there is also, yeah, songs that are just fucking about nothing, to be honest. It's just, I think that's pretty normal for a writer.
And that and yet they're personal, you're saying.
Some of them, yeah. I mean,
It's
it's kind
almost
of,
like sometimes a song can be like 25%, oh, I just like the way the lyrics sound, 75% really means something to me, but somehow at 100%, it conveys even better what you were trying to convey than if you just were 100% honest with that initial 75%. Does that make sense?
that totally makes sense. I completely agree. I think, yeah, completely agree. I think that's kind of the thing for me is I write the music so fast
Mm-hmm.
and but then the lyrics, I just struggle sometimes. And it's like, I think the best songs that I've written are the ones where I kind of come up with the lyric and the guitar at the same time.
Oh, I totally agree. They feed into each other in this way
Yeah.
that it's like you don't even notice you're working, or sometimes I'll have that and I'll think back and go, "Oh, okay, I get it. The vocal melody I came up with is sort of following one of the notes in the chord progression that is going through."
Yeah.
Like you can trace it back after, but there's nothing better than feeling just that energy of like, "Huh, why is this all sort of just falling into
It
place
just
correctly?"
works. Yeah.
Yeah.
It just
Oh,
works.
yeah.
You like instantly, and you go, oh yeah, that's it.
Okay,
It's
then.
all coming together.
Well, that's very okay. Then I have a follow-up question I didn't know I would really ask or plan to ask, but maybe this will be a good one to ask future guests as well. Why did you, if we're hearing it, if we're able to hear it, it means you put it out. So why did you put it out? Were you already unhappy with it before putting it out, but you really liked that ending? Or did you sour on it after?
I want to say I was 50% before
Hmm.
it came out. Probably, no. So I was probably 70% before it came out.
Into it,
But
you mean?
then 70% into it, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But then once it goes to the publishers, it's out of your control, right? So it kind of, I think from that point of when it was uploaded
Yeah.
to the time it came out, it kind of diminished
I know
over that
exactly
time.
what you mean. It's like as you get the updates that it's going through all those processes and it's going to be on streaming or whatever, you're like, I don't, those are things I could have done differently that maybe I would do, but
Yeah,
then you just have to
absolutely.
be comfortable with, or this is how I feel anyway. You have to be confident in the self that thought that was a good idea to some extent.
Yeah, you just got to own it, I suppose, right? Like it could have been. It's definitely not the worst song I've ever written.
Right, right, right.
If
That's a
people want
different
to know the worst
podcast.
song I've ever written,
Sure. Why don't, yeah, let's hear about also the
check
worst
it
song you've
out.
ever
It's on
written.
SoundCloud.
Okay.
It's the first song I ever released by myself. So like nobody did anything else on it.
Uh-huh.
Um, and it is terrible.
What's the genre?
Couldn't even tell you. So this is a long time ago now. I like
How
to
long?
think
Well,
I've
that's another
gotten
question.
better.
So how long ago?
I want to say between like maybe 10 to 15 years ish. So like a while, probably like,
Okay.
I think I was probably like 21 or something at the time.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Um, genre, I like to think, I listened to it today actually.
Like,
And
okay.
I think I was going for like a explosions in the sky meets frightened rabbit vibe.
Oh, okay. I see. Ironically, I could see that still working for you if you decided to put something out like that.
I think if I did it now, it probably would.
Yes. Well, yeah, because I guess you have
Uh,
the 15 years of songwriting experience to express it
but
better.
it,
Okay,
it
so when you listen back to it, what struck you as bad?
everything. The vocal, the lyrics, terrible. The
Uh-huh.
vocal, the vocal is fucking excruciating. It's
Yeah.
terrible. It's recorded terribly. Um, the
Did any
music, I will say, the music itself
Yeah.
is actually pretty good. Like I remember I ended up, so I make on the side, I have another project that's like ambient instrumental music.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I ended up using the music from that song only in that project.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so the music's kind of good, but the rest of it is just dog shit.
But do any lyrics stand out? Like, are you thinking of any right now where you're like, that was just who was that guy who thought that was a good idea to rhyme?
Oh, I think the very first line is something fucking stupid, like you stand at the west side of the sea or some shit like that. Like it's just terrible. It just doesn't sound good. It doesn't
Uh,
sound good at all.
the thing
But
about a lot
everyone
of
go listen to it. It's great.
yeah, okay, I'll make sure that I put it in
I'll
the
send you a
post.
link. I'll
Yeah,
send
you
you a link.
send the link, all right?
I think it's a good actually way to kind of show that like you can get better, I guess, right? Like I think
Yeah.
it's pretty normal for an artist to hate a lot of stuff they do.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
And but it's kind of nice. Like I've never really thought about it until listening today, to be honest,
Yeah.
and being like, wow, I actually got a lot better.
That's really
Um,
wow, that's a good It's a surprising positive I did not expect from the premise of this show.
It was a nice moment. I was listening to it and I was thinking, fuck me. And I was thinking, but then, when I listen to like songs like that right now, I can kind of be like, that's a bit of a banger. Like, that's not
Yeah,
a bad
exactly.
song,
Yeah.
And like my vocal is a trillion times. Like this thing is, I don't even know if it's a key.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
it's somewhere in between, somewhere in the ether. It's
Yeah.
out
It's
there.
floating and occasionally
Yeah.
lands.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, this feels like it went by really quickly, but this was awesome. Thank you so much. Thanks for participating.
No worries, man. Thank you for having me. It was fun.
Another month I let go by. I haven't got the dosage right. Been looking for my sanity. I search the kitchen drawers. I know it isn't helping, and I'm wrecking my head again. My mood is in and out. I'm always on the couch. You're a killer and I'm getting older. I'm 30 fucking one and I'm not doing this again. Another month I let go by. I can't do anything on time. And every time I see you, I say I'm doing fine. I know this is